What is something you did once and never again?
When I was 10-ish years old I knew about sexual things, and when you find smutty magazines and PO mags you grow up believing that you're gonna have sex all the time with every random person. After shaving what small pubes I had, I rubbed toothpaste all over thinking, yeah, the girls will like this. Did I think it'd taste better? Smell better? I have no idea. All I know is it stung. I had a cool mint DK for hours.
LMAO, children are a treasure. They are so dumb. The first time I came I was scared I'd get pregnant. I was 12.
Put pizza wrapped in foil in the microwave when I was 10 thinking it will warm up quicker. It surely did by lighting on fire 3 seconds after I turned it on. Carolina Reaper infused gummy bear. I almost called for an ambulance. Legitimately thought I was going to die covered in sweat, poo and vomit.
Take us through the timeline here. Was the mass exodus of bodily fluids instantaneous or delayed over time?
Hiking through jungles. They look so beautiful in movies. In reality they are some of the most brutal hikes I've been on. Let's start with the humidity. It's so bad it drenches you to the bone, and there's no escaping it. Being under a jungle canopy is like being in a pressure cooker. The heat and humidity beats you down harder than any environment I've been in. Then there's the swarms of biting bugs. From never-ending mosquitoes, giant spiders on everything, ticks jumping on you from everywhere and colonies of aggressive fire ants crisscrossing the trails, you can expect to have more bug bites than you've thought possible to survive.
Yeah, F everything about that. I'll take my temperate forests, thanks.
Went to Times Square for New Year's Eve in New York City. I live in NYC and I figured it was the kind of thing I wanted to see but didn't need to see again. Went in 2000 when I was 18. Got there 11 a.m. and stayed for 13 hours in the freezing cold, but with close spots to the ball drop and screen. I'm glad I did it. I'm also glad I've never done it again.
I used to live right next to where the ball would drop, so I would go out on the fire escape and watch it from there every year. Got some booing from the crowd, but it was nice to see the event. Wouldn't go out of my way to see it again though.
Not paying attention to currents when swimming in the sea, and going anyway when there's a red flag and no guard. Dumbest poo ever. I was with my 2 brothers and my father, happily splashing around. Suddenly we turn around and the shore just got very far away. So we start swimming back, but the sea is stronger than you. If you stop 5 seconds to catch your breath you lose the progress you did during the last minute, and that's precious. I was young so I don't remember it as a legit life-threatening situation, but my bros and dads still got chills when talking about it.
For anyone that doesn't know, always make sure you swim parallel to the shore, not towards it. Link.
Removing paint from a table. I still need to finish sanding the thing, but that was a nightmare. Who paints a table with like 30 coats? Edit. Used Citrus Strip Safer Paint Remover. Then SCRPD the flat surfaces with a SCRPR, then used steel wool on the other parts, rinsing the chunks of paint off in between as it gunked up the steel wool real quick. Then repeated the process a few weeks later, then used a belt sander on the flat surfaces, now just need to hand sand the other surfaces. It's like you want to quit but you are too invested at that point.
29 different owners. Assume the green stuff on the sushi tray was avocado.
I'm sure several first-time sushi eaters thought the same. I know I did.
Spray deodorant on my ass to cover up the smell of my farting. I was 6, once that spray hit my bullet hole, the burning began.
The 6 logic behind your decision is honestly the funniest part. Edit. This is by far the most likes I've gotten on any post, comment, or reply. Never imagined it'd be for someone spraying deodorant up their ass, but then again I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, thanks guys.
Stayed at a bed and breakfast. I'm not social enough to socialize with people during breakfast.
Same. Came downstairs at 9:15 because they said breakfast was served until 9:30. The owner said, "There you are," and showed me to a table with a little card that said Mrs. Winecube, in fancy script, and then proceeded to scold me that all the other guests were already done eating. Never again.
Got drunk once with friends under the Ambassador Bridge drinking 120 proof rum from duty-free shop. Puked my guts out. Can't stand the smell of rum since, and it's been 53 years.
Vanilla vodka in a field for me. I feel like a lot of people have a similar story about drinking excessively with friends in a creative location that resulted in alcohol poisoning and the inability to consume that type of booze anymore. Edit, it is truly heartwarming to read all these responses and see that this is such a universal experience. Be sure to thank your liver today for all its hard work.
Bath salts. Tried some from a guy who went by Asian Billy. I did about enough to cover the head of a framing nail and was pretty much having a panic attack for the next 8 hours. I went to a casino with the other people I was working with and Asian Billy and sat at a blackjack table and just said, "I have no idea what I'm doing. Sorry everyone if I mess up your bets." Everyone was cool and I ended up winning $175.
Now I got to ask the most important question, was Asian Billy Asian?
Tried to intervene during a street fight. Got shot for my troubles.
Bless us with more story, friend. Were you out getting a coffee? Walking your gator? Where were you shot? Glad you're here to write any of this stuff in the first place.
Was at the bar with my ex-wife. 2 regulars, one of which I considered a friend, started arguing. My friend went outside to go home and end the problem. Asshat decides he's gonna continue the fight in the parking lot. There was a group of us that followed, and when he went to pull a gun, my drunk ass thought it would be a good idea to step in and try to stop it all. F shot at me 3 times. One of them hit my leg.
I stole a tester eyeliner from the makeup section at a store when I was 17. The security guy took me aside in a small room and questioned me, asked for my information, and to scare me, he said this would always be in my record and companies won't want to hire me anymore, and I burst into tears and had a panic attack. He said he'll let me off if I pay double the price of the eyeliner, so I did and he let me go. Now, I don't know how much of what he told me was real and if the resolve was legitimate, but if he tried to just scare me into not becoming a serial swiper, it worked.
Pretty sure he just pocketed the cash after.
Cocaine. I remember feeling alive, feeling like myself for the first time, feeling like I was bursting at the seams with creative ideas. I was finally the person I wished I was, as creative as I wished I was, and as motivated as I wished I was. I felt like I had found the secret holy grail of success and happiness. Then I thought, oh, this is why people get addicted to it. So I vowed not to do it again and went back to being depressed and unmotivated.
A friend of mine in college did some cocaine, and sat down and wrote a poem. He actually got it published. He never did cocaine again. He never wrote anything for publication ever again. He was fine with both of those things. Edit. People keep asking questions about the poem and so on. This was over 30 years ago. I have no idea.
When I just found out about masturbation, I used dish soap as lubricant. At first it was fine, but I didn't wash it after. The next day I woke up with skin peeling off the top of my DK. I could barely take a shower, it stung so bad. Never again.
Climbed the stairs up the CN Tower. It's a twice-a-year thing for charity. My friends and husband were all like, yeah, come join us. It's so fun. No, ~249 144 flights of stairs is not fun. I've done it once. It's crossed off. Never again. Edit. Okay, it's only 144 flights of stairs, and 1776 steps. Sure felt like a billion, but this post has gotten some traction and I feel guilty.
I get tired climbing stairs in Warzone sometimes. I can't imagine this. Nope.
It's shockingly faster than you'd think. I think my time was 45 minutes and my husband, friends did it in 25-ish. But then, the other friend I dragged along took an hour and a half. And then we had to dash across town for a 5K race that was actually what I wanted to do. It was a day. It will never be repeated. It was bad decisions all around.
Spelunking, cave exploring. For starters, it begins and ends with going through a million bats. And the journey in between is just too dangerous. In the last place in the world you'd want to get hurt. And super tight squeezes are freaky.
The story of the guy who got stuck upside down in the Nutty Putty cave system will have me never ever getting into spelunking. His body is still stuck there because it was too unsafe and difficult to get him out. It's so disturbing and sad.
So when I was really young I liked to play military or something, and one time I wanted to be a hostage, and escape from it to fight the bad guys like an idiot. However, I couldn't get the tape to work myself, so I asked my brother for help. So I went onto a cabinet and had my brother do it. I was excited to escape and fight the bad guys. Then I woke up in my dad's car dizzy, confused and dazzled. What had happened was because I was an idiot, and my brother was too, I was tied up on top of the cabinet, so when I wanted to get down I basically face-planted so hard my mom said it looked like I got murdered. I amazingly only had a broken nose. So I never played hostage again. I was a stupid kid.
Poor mother, OMG, haha.
Used Nair to remove all the hair from my junk with little effort. Don't ever do this.
I was laughing after reading Nair. I went through the phase myself. What's that saying again? Young, dumb and slathered in Nair.
Salvia. I experimented with lots of DG, and especially psychedelics when I was younger, but man. Take the most intense part of an acid trip but without any let up to ease you in. So you go from stone cold sober to tripping balls in seconds. The trip only lasts for 5 minutes, but you spend the next couple of hours playing catch up with your brain trying to make sense of things. And you'd better make sure you're with people you trust, because I could have easily walked right off my balcony without thinking twice about it.
Same. I had just said, I don't feel poo. And no sooner were the words out of my mouth than I got overcome with that intense feeling of knowing you're in a dream, and I was like, OMG, I gotta get out. But when I tried to walk I looked down and my legs were on backwards. Like I was legit looking at the smooth part of the back of my knees. Lol. I was just about to start crying, hyperventilating, when it wore off. F that lol.
Buy cheap toilet paper. That one-ply crap, which was a cross between either using sandpaper on your crack or accidentally ripping through it and fingering yourself.
We call that John Wayne toilet paper. Rough, tough, and don't take poo off of anybody.
Opening a link in Reddit when someone else in the comments said not to.
Yup, and on one of those what's the most disturbing photo on the internet threads that I hated myself for even venturing into. Saw 2 images that haunted me for weeks, and now I just avoid those sorts of threads. I'm not even going to describe them, because I'm sure they're high up already on numerous Ask Reddit threads like them. Just don't click it. They're not worth it. You will gain nothing from seeing those things.
When I was a kid, my neighbor invited me to hang out with this new friend from school. He brought us about a mile across farm fields to a house he enjoyed stalking behind and watching for hours. Never saw him again, but always wondered if it caught up with him. Edit for clarity. My old neighbor met a new friend at their school. I went to a different one. The new friend proceeded to walk us across town to the house he'd been stalking.
Yikes. Creepy indeed.
Skydive. Nope, didn't help with my fear of heights.
I just went to an open sea scuba diving course. We had a woman that was with us that was afraid of the ocean, and being submerged in water. She said this is what she wanted to do to get over her fear. She got in the gear, got to the end of the boat, jumped in, then immediately and calmly said, "Get me back on the boat." Back on the boat, cool as a cucumber, she took off her gear and was like, "Nope, not doing it." Top 3 scariest moments of my life right there. She grabbed a water and a power bar and calmly waited for the course to finish and for the boat to take us all back. Respect to her.
Meth.
Hey, me too. I was awake for a day and started seeing shadow people. Not to mention I spent the day with legitimate meth heads and meth dealers. It was pretty scary. Still remember everything even though it's been almost 15 years. It makes me nauseous that I let myself do that. I was a raging alcoholic, so I didn't have many inhibitions.
One time, I was around 12 or 13. I suddenly took interest on my sharpener. Since my pinky finger was small enough, I decided, why don't I sharpen my finger? Like, why the F not? So I plunged it in and twisted hard. Took nearly a week to heal. One of the most stupidest things I ever done.
I did this as a kid too. It's like some sort of whack childhood intrusive thought that you actually act on.
Pee in a garbage bin in front of a teacher thinking that it was a toilet. Sleep is important.
Ran out of toilet paper when I was 11, saw alcohol wipe cloths and thought that would work just fine. Nope, as soon as I did that first wipe it was as if the sun teleported into my asshole and I was hopping around the bathroom trying not to squeal. Mum opened the door to check on the noise and saw me jumping around with an alcohol pad between my cheeks. Keep alcohol away from your anus.
Greater than as soon as I did that first wipe it was as if the sun teleported into my asshole and I was hopping around the bathroom trying not to squeal. Well, that's not something you hear every day.
This one time I was getting a drink that was only for $1, so I sped walk my way into the mini shops, quickly grabbed one and ran out. I was running to my friend with the drink until I felt something in my pocket, pulled it out and it was the dollar. Sudden realization I quickly ran back to the mini shop to see the shop owners scanning the outside of their shop. I gave them my dollar and said, sorry. They looked at the dollar, looked at each other, spoke in a different language, and went back inside. I'm pretty sure they called me an idiot, as I went back with shame.
My dad told me this story. In the 70s he and my mum stopped at a Little Chef, motorway services restaurant, for lunch. After they finished, they got the bill, then left. They drove for half an hour before realizing they didn't actually pay the bill. Being honest people, they turned round and went back and paid. The staff said, "We thought you'd be back."
Ate a whole habanero in 2 bites. Edit rip my inbox with everyone's similar stories.
I also did that once. Coke out of a fat guy's belly button.
Wait, that was you?
Peed on a fence. Did you know some cattle fences are electrified?
Get drunk till I blacked out. Having people fill in the gaps in your memory is terrifying, especially not knowing how you got home. I don't drink anymore. Edit, spelling is hard.
I read about a guy in Poland who blacked out. His friends took him abroad to Copenhagen, and left him there. I can't remember how it ended.
I did die for 2 minutes after a heart attack and don't plan on doing that again, for a while anyway. Does that count?
I have to ask, did you see or feel anything during that time?
Unfortunately not. Just extreme pain then nothing. Had no concept of time when I came back though, if that makes sense, seemed longer.
Fried bacon naked.
I've done this more than once, but I will agree it stings pretty bad the first time.
When I was 14, I accidentally mistook bike chain lube for sex lube. At first, I wondered why it was blue, but that thought was almost immediately overpowered by an intense burning sensation.
That's it. I've heard everything.
I called my mom by her first name once.
How are you alive?
I don't remember, honestly.
Cocaine. Feeling strong is a slight misnomer. You feel like your presence in the world at large has increased exponentially, so that strong comes off as an observation, not how you actually feel. Invincible is the closest word. Fun once and I left it at once.
Hitchhiked. At 17. To Mexico. Edit, nothing bad happened at all. Everyone was really nice. It was me and my friend, both girls, and we had a great time, but I think we got lucky.
Bought a $20 lottery ticket. Lost $20. Never again.
Used to travel a lot for work and my team decided they wanted to hit a casino on the way back home. So I figured I'd hit the penny slots. I only had a couple of dollars to burn, so I wanted to make it last. In 200 spins, I didn't win even a tiny amount a single time. At least with a lottery ticket you get the enjoyment of sitting back and imagining what you'd do with the money if you won. I might as well have just dropped a few rolls of pennies down a storm drain.
Cheat on a partner. Learned the hard way as a dumb teen that this is one of worst things you can do and only ever leads to everyone involved getting seriously hurt.
I was cheated on by my fiancé when I was 20 and still think about that from time to time. 16 years later I've since married and have a family. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise, but it really hurt bad for quite a while.
Third wheeling, never again. Makes me realize how lonely I truly am.
Tried to exist with undermedicated bipolar disorder. Edit, my goodness, I've never had something blow up like this. I am so happy so many of y'all are feeling better. It is so much easier being stable. For those of you who are looking for help, my heart goes out to you. You are not alone. There is hope. You do not have to sit in the darkness, you can make it out, and I'm not just blowing sunshine. I hope each one of you finds healing on your journey. You deserve love, kindness, and health. If you live in the US, try here, SAMHSA, link. I'm going to mute this thread now, but I'm here on DMs for questions. A marathon in the desert. Edit, I just woke up in my time zone and boom, this exploded. Thank you for the awards and the upvotes. I'm gonna try and reply as much as possible.
Do you try to find new ways to die every day?
Well, I'm an epileptic with brain cancer who still cooks.
Grabbed the hot grill as a 5-year-old. Learned my lesson. Edit, wow, this blew up overnight. Thanks for the awards. And sorry to everyone injuring themselves.
As a naive yet curious kid's kid, I didn't know what the razor in the bathroom was for and decided to test it out by rubbing it over my thumb with the shower running. Despite being just a cut, here was so much blood coming out it was like a murder scene. My mum made me a cute little thumbcast to wear for a few days and explained it to me afterwards though.
Op is really attentive to the answers and we should appreciate that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day. So be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.